Welcome back to Digital Downs. Just getting set here for the live stream. Gonna go over some. We have a live auction going today at Digital Downs where a bunch of virtual horses will be auctioned off. So we're gonna take a look at them individually and try to see where we can find some value, possibly. Just checking some things here and making sure that they're all set up. So welcome back to Digital Downs. Let's see. Anyone's welcome to join the Discord chat or the YouTube live feed chat or the voice channel on Discord if you want to make some comments on the auction yourself. So all right now we're digitaldowns.us. We're in the current auction page. Auction begins in about an hour and 3 minutes or so. Once the auction begins, the horses will be auctioned off 2 minutes at a time. If there is a last second bid, the auction time on the current horse will be extended. I'm not sure if it's 30 seconds or so, but as you see here, the first horse up here is Money Boy, owned by Bobby Dazzler. It's a 2-year-old out of Bring It Home Boy. I think there's a minimum bid of 15,000 credits, which is $15 in US dollar value. Right now there's no current bids on this horse. It's unraced. Horse rating of 102, which is pretty solid. Bring It Home Boy is a winless sire. But its offspring has done pretty well. Its offspring here is 40 races total, 5 wins. Total money is $315,000. Average earnings per offspring is strong 12,631. Average earnings per 12,631 actually isn't that strong. It's just not enough races yet. But its average earnings per race per offspring is just under 8,000, which is pretty good. Let's go back to the horse itself. Money Boy showing some works here. I probably figured this was going to happen. If you're going to look at the latest works, if you're going to put a horse up for the auction, you probably should show a variety of works for the horse so that they're easily visible. People can kind of break those down. There's no 6 furlong works in here, so it's kind of hard to tell what this horse is sprint wise, stay or classic. So makes it pretty hard to make a decision on this. But the horse is, he does have a 6 furlong in the notes. Seems to be more of a classic type. 15,000 is definitely a fair value for this horse. I believe that you'll win probably at least 4 or 5 times that amount on the track. So Money Boy Bobby Dazzler is over, as you can see, is 59 minutes left before this horse goes up for auction. See. So yeah, 15,000 is clearly a fair value there. No current bids on this horse at the moment. Look, let's face it, the confirmations don't necessarily jump out at you. This peak age probably I would disregard. I'm not sure why that's there, but I can have that changed. The confirmations they're solid. It's got it's everything's above board is what you're looking for. It's got some excellence and very good. So it's it's built well, but its horse rating of, let's see, what was the horse rating? Horse rating was 102, is solid. So that alone for 15 is a good buy. So we'll see if that gets any action coming up here in 58 minutes. That's the first one going off the board. Money Boy by Bobby Dazzler. Owned by Bobby Dazzler. It's by Bring It Home. And the dam is Money for Tiff. All right, next up is... let's see. Next up is Getting Flirty. It's a PA bred. Again, owned by Bobby Dazzler. Out of the same sire, Bring It Home Boy. This is another unraced 2-year-old. It's a 2-year-old filly. It's a nice rating of 104.25. I like it a lot. Has a decent sprinter profile here. Looks like to be, you know, I think this horse here will probably run, you know, some decent 4 furlongs, 5 furlong times, as well as some maybe mid-claim 6 furlongs. Possibly state bred allowance races, state bred only. 104.5 rated. We already checked out Bring It Home Boy. Loaded with X's from Northland is the mare. Getting Flirty PA bred. Let's see where you put the value on this. Getting Flirty here is minimum bid is 20. Is 20. I don't think you can go wrong there with a minimum bid of 20,000. Just you know, again, it's $20. You know, you can breed $7, $8, $9, $10 a pop, or sales ran $14, $15, and then hope that it actually has those kind of works. You know, it's very good, excellent, very good, excellent. You know, like I said, it's a solid horse as far as the conformation goes. Its horse rating is a little bit better than that, so it's a good indicator. It's a 104 and definitely has some solid sprint times. You know, the 22:13 in the opening 2 furlong is the 22:13 open furlong is not, you know, all that fast for a, you know, for a 4 furlong or 5 furlong sprinter. That definitely would, you know, lean more towards the 5, 6 furlong types as far as the races go. But it's middle too. It's 4 furlong time is very fast. So it seems to be, you know, picks up and hits its you know, max stride probably around that 4 furlong mark, going into 5 and 6 furlongs. I wish my wife would stop texting me 100 times here. My bad. So yeah, $20 value there is probably fair. Getting Flirty goes off in 56 minutes. All right, the next one up is Rough London, again owned by Bobby Dazzler. The sire is London Eye. It's a Kentucky bred 2-year-old colt, has 1 race under its belt, finished 2nd. Its minimum bid is $35,000. It currently does have a bid on it for $40,500. This horse is a 4X, one very good. Again, has a really nice 6 furlong work time. Jesus Christ. So it did have a race here. So let's look at the race itself. So at Santa Anita, it ran in a maiden special weight. Held the lead for a little bit. Got nosed out at the end. Ran a 115.97. The race class rating was 109.80. Not terribly high. Um, did win 9,000 for the race. Got beat by a gelding. Trying to see if I like it. It's a 103.75 rated. Again, it's good. It's not gelded. It means you still have the geld option on this horse. So if you do go ahead and bid on this horse for whatever it is now, 40,000, whatever it is, you still have the geld option. If you're not satisfied with the overall performance of the horse, it still has a chance to break maiden. It can break maiden also as a Kentucky bred. Higher purse maidens. You can do maiden state bred onlys, which carry state bred bonuses. So again, from a racing standpoint, the horse has has shown that it has some ability. It was an 8-horse field in its maiden special weight. Did finish second, and you may have some options left on this horse. Into the allowances before hitting those claiming ranks. So again, $40 is kind of a fair value. Considering that maybe the horse probably can bring in, at a minimum, $100 to $150 return. Horse is going off at 56:08, 56 minutes and 8 seconds. Bro. Next up is the horse name is Should Have Cheated. It's a Kentucky bred. It's a 2-year-old filly. It's owned by Star of the Desert out of Violence and Broadway Martha. Minimum bid was 50,000 credits. Now it's 75,000, so it's been bid up. This horse does have 7 races, has 6 wins. Was originally bred by Poncho Racing Stables. It says 6 of 7. Some notes on here. Horse here is a 6 for 7 lifetime with very nice horse rating of 103.75, speed rating of 111.57, and last 2 race speed ratings of 115. So the little notes there from the owner. Let's go look at some of the races, the race types that the horse did win. So, yeah, so if you just look at the races itself, 7 races, 6 wins, it can be a little bit misleading. It did bring in 63,000 game credits already. The 6 races that it's won, it won a maiden claiming 15,000. It did win a claiming 10,000, which is fair. It did put an optional claiming. It did win that as well. It ran a 10,000 open claiming. It won that again. It went to a claiming 30,000. It won that, and allowance. It won that. So clearly, this horse here was pegged incorrectly. For whatever reason, they decided to run this horse into a maiden 15,000. It won easily. It's won every single race. After that, it even went up in class for a 30,000 claiming race. Won that easily. Went into a starter allowance. Won that easily. That was a starter allowance for a claiming price of 15,000 or and less. So really, it's hard to tell where this horse may end up being or kind of ability it has. It is a filly. It has incredible work times. It's mile and an eighth. All very good times. I can't tell if there were notes on. There's no notes on the 6 furlong time. And again, guys, I got to tell you, if you're going to put horses in auction, you need to show better works here. You want people to spend money. You want them to buy your horses. We'll give them the information that they're looking for, to make that decision. The works that everybody bases everything off of most of the times is 6 furlongs. There's no visible 6 furlong work. So it's really hard to tell what this horse is capable of doing. And then you're more or less, bidding in the blind. Okay. However, you know, it's this race record speaks for itself. I don't know if it can win any higher than the allowance race. I just clearly know that it won the allowance race. You know, it's got a 103.75 rated. So, you know, it's hard to say what this horse has left as far as conditions. You know, because it already has 6 wins, so it's really out of all the class conditions of non-winners of this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're really looking at either open allowances, you know, stakes, graded stakes, or high maiden claimers. Or not maiden claimers, or high claimers. You know what I mean? So 40, 50, 60. You know, so if you're bidding now for 75,000, hopefully you have a plan for the horse to return that 75,000 in credits. All right, so. Moving on to the next one is an unnamed horse. This is by Tri-City Stables. This horse is out of Doc Amster, Kentucky bred. It's unraced. Its current minimum bid is $5,000. You know, has you know, somewhat of an average you know, conformation. You know, it's a 101.5 rated horse. The horse was gelded already. The geld date was February 24th, so these look like works from the geld. Okay, and it looks to be, you know, of a low-end sprinter quality. And I guess the key here is, you know, it's unraced. It was gelded. The minimum bid is $5,000. It can clearly win that $5,000 back based on its work times that it has and its horse rating. I believe that there's definitely value here of anywhere from $5 to $10, you know, for this horse. And you can run this thing immediately in your maiden claiming $5,000, maiden claiming $10,000, and you can also run it in the, you know, at Churchill, where you'll get the state bred bonuses. And like I said, you know, I think you can clearly get your money back on that one. Nice and cheap, $5,000. Unnamed, 107,894 from Tri-City Stables out of Doc Amster. Next up is Sky Star. Sky Star, the minimum bid was $25,000, is now up to $26,500. This is a 2-year-old filly out of Colts Road. It's Kentucky bred. Its conformation is a 5-star, you know, basically 5 times X. Works improving, sharp filly. I'm not sure about the works improving part. That can be misleading. A sharp filly would be more accurate, and again, getting sharper, I'm not sure how that can be the case either. That's more of just terminology from horsemen and such, because, you know, the horse actually hasn't raced at all. It's probably based on works. Hold on a second. So let's take a look at this horse here. Like I said, it's you know, what it has for it, besides all these notes that I would just ignore these notes completely, is that it's a 5X. Okay, it's a 2-year-old filly and it's Sky Star. So we can take a look at the horse itself. Let's just see. Sky Star. It's a 101.75 rated, which is a solid. You know, you look to be over 100 for some of these the lower stakes grade. And now you can take a look at the works. You know, at least what, you know, this is owned by Cowboy Way. At least he's showing you the works that he, and all these different distances, which should help you out. Hopefully they are all also worked at the correct weight. But you can see here, you know, some solid times to see. He did 6 furlongs on stalk here, 163. I'm trying to find a push. 44.72, 108.65. It's definitely on the short sprint type. I wouldn't think that you're looking at, you know, any type of classic running horse. So you're looking at, you know, 5, 6, maybe 7 furlongs as far as your optimal distance for this horse. And really, nothing that's blowing you away as far as the works go. I mean, it's a pretty fast, you know, like I said, you know, short sprinter. It's not the fastest as you need for a 4 furlong, but it should compete well for 5, 6, 7 furlongs. The key to this whole horse is the fact that it's a 5X, and it has a horse rating of 101.75, which means it has huge, breeding potential down the line. It's a well-built horse. It's out of Colts Road. Colts Road is a Breeders' Cup champion, a Juvenile Classic champion. So very good bloodlines, good racing bloodlines. Colts Road has, some pretty solid numbers here. If you just want to look at, some averages, he has 198. His foals, Colts Road's foals have 198 races, 25 wins. Win rate is not all that great. It does have some stakes wins from its foals. It's his foals have won over 1 million credits, and the average earnings per offspring, which is a number you want to keep in mind here when you're looking at these unraced horses, is this average earnings per offspring is an important number when you're looking at these unraced horses from these sires. It's 41,000. Its average earnings per race is about 6,000. So 6,000 is a little bit below where you're looking for as far as average earnings per race. Its average earnings per offspring, you can just figure it out on your own, right? So even if you average $40,000 on the return, you should be, above, if you bought this horse or bid for this horse for $26,500, where it currently stands now, the average return for this horse's the sire's foals is $40,000 plus. So the sire has the bloodlines, has the racing ability. You just don't know if it's transferred to this 2-year-old yet because it is unraced. The works itself are nothing to blow you away with, but its confirmations are really good, and it's above the 101. So you have to look at the bloodlines a little bit when you want to go ahead and bid for this horse. This is a fair bid for $26,500, and I think that if it was me, I probably would go. Considering it's a 5X, I think this horse has value up to, based on the racing and everything. I would say it's higher than 100,000 game credits, for this horse. It's a solid horse, and I believe in the breeding. Next up is Treasure Trove. I apologize for my phone keep going off like that. Getting bombarded with text messages. Next up, we got Treasure Trove and More Racing Stable. It's a 2-year-old. This horse is raced. It's out of Quality as Gold, New York. It's a New York bred. Its conformation is pretty solid. Again, we have a 5X filly here. So automatically, I know some of these older guys that have been here, they've acquired a bunch of horses, and they're going to say, well, I got a 5X, I got a 5X. There's 5Xs everywhere. But really, they're really not everywhere. They don't come out as much as you think. They do come out in your home breeding, and, those numbers are going to dwindle over the next few seasons. So, when you're looking at from a breeding standpoint, the conformations matter. And, these are definitely future breeders if, besides racing, if they may have a great racing career, 2, 3, 4-year-old racing career, but from a conformation standpoint, they're going to have a secondary career in the public or private breeding market. So they always hold some value. Again, this horse is a 5X Treasure Trove. Let's just find out a little more information. It's a New York bred. It's a 99.5 rating, so again, it's not the highest rating that high rating that you're looking for, from a racing standpoint. So just from that alone, I would tell you that the horse is definitely have a future as a secondary as far as breeding, but its racing career is going to be limited, and you can see that reflected here in the works. I mean, these are definitely claiming works. This horse here has been run maiden special weight, maiden 40,000. This owner gave it its chance. It did cash a check at maiden 40K. So this horse has some ability on a lower scale. You could probably throw it into a maiden claiming 20,000 and then claiming 10, claiming 15. So you have to be careful of what you're willing to pay for the horse as far as racing goes. However, if you don't have a 5X breeder and you want this horse for future breeding, then it's well worth the money, as far as to scoop this horse up. The minimum bid was $25,000. That's an easy $25,000 in my opinion. If you're not going, it has an upward potential of, If you don't already have these, see, that's the key. Some of these guys that are bidding here, they may already have an entire breeding barn, and they have some 5X fillies, 5X mares, and they have some 5X sires, and this is not really what they don't need to just add more. But for the folks that don't have a breeding shed, they don't have the future breeding, and they want to think down the line, 2-3 seasons, then these are the type of horses that you want to invest in for later on. And make sure these horses never see a claiming race, okay? You just get their minimum 10 runs in, eventually they'll be 4 years old, and then you can go ahead and breed with these horses. So 25,000 is extremely light for this type of horse, and I would expect or hope that this horse will go for far more than 25,000. Next up is unnamed 107898. Okay, this is owned by Induna, and it's out of Chasing Chaos, Florida bred. But this is a New York bred. Let's look at its confirmation. It's bred by Induna also. This horse, again, is another 5X horse. Okay, and let's see, the horse rating is 104. Very solid 104 on this. So look at what we got going for it. We got a 5X. We got a great horse rating. It's which is a good indicator of its racing ability. If you come down here and look at this works, we have a 22:16, 24:92, 108:66, which is going to be more of a classic time. Maybe a 7 furlong, 8 furlong, 9 furlong horse. Should compete well in its maiden runs, lower allowances, and eventually mid to high claims. But just like the last horse, the potential really is going to be further down the line if it doesn't develop into an allowance type racer. It's going to be into the breeding. Its sire was Chasing Chaos, had 3 wins out of 15 races and 212,000 in earnings. Did hit the board in a G2 and a G1. Its foal has 13 foals, 41 races, 7 wins, 1 stakes win. Its foals have accumulated 345,000 in earnings. Its average earnings per offspring is 13,838, and its average earnings per race of the offspring, which I think is the better one, is just over 8,000. So you can kind of get an idea of what you're looking for as far as a return. But again, it's into the confirmation aspect and the horse rating. You're looking at a very solid horse rating of 104 and a 5X. This horse is going for 30,000 currently, and is well worth every single penny of the 30,000. Again, these 5Xs are future breedings, and I gotta tell you, some of these guys may have a bunch. Induna may be loaded with sires and mares, and the more power to him for building that. He built that. When you have these 5X sires and mares, you're able to create more offspring that are on the higher end as far as confirmation, as you would think it would do. So he maybe have more available 5X to give to the market, put these up for auction, and 30,000 is more than fair. I think it's kind of on the light end, and I believe that the 5Xs should be protected no matter how many are in the game. So like I said, 30,000 is fair, but I think I would be safe with it being that it's a colt, anywhere up to 100,000. Next one up is Black Ace. It is unnamed 107870 at Florida bred by Black Ace Stable. It's out of Thunder Supersonic. Get the point is the mare. This horse is a 5X colt, and the minimum bid is 10,000, which is interesting that someone would put a 5X up here for 10,000 credits. And maybe it's because of the horse rating being 9950 that maybe the racing career doesn't look like it's going to be much. So that's probably what it is, if I have to be fair. The 5X is nice, that's future breeding, but you're talking, you're 6 months down the line on that. The racing ability on this is you're going to want to protect the 5Xs. So to think that you're going to get this horse and race it in a 5K claimer, 10K, 15K claimer where it can compete, which realistically, if you look at the works, that's where it's going to need to be. It's hard to justify paying more than 10 or 15,000 for this horse and then race it in those races. This is the type of horse that you would have to sit on for a long period of time. So you have to factor that into the value. So it's great that it's a 5X. The horse rating, not so much. The work times and potential is not showing a whole lot of potential. So you're limited with your options. You're either going to race this in claimers or you're basically going to sit on this horse purely for breeding down the line. If you're willing to sit on the horse purely for breeding, it has much more value than 10,000 credits. You know, if you want to race it right now and you don't worry about the breeding down the line, then you better, you know, you can clearly grab this horse now for 10 to 15,000 credits, and then you would geld the horse, and maybe maybe it changes its ability in racing. What you're not going to do is buy this horse for 10 to 15,000 and then put it into a $10,000 claimer. Someone's just going to claim it from you for 10,000 because you haven't gelded it yet, and it is a 5X. You got to think this through a little bit. Next one up is Holy Cowboy, owned by Cowboy Way out of Monkey Slough, PA. So this is a PA, or this is a New York bred. Holy Cowboy is another 5X. Sire 5X, dam 5X. So basically what we're saying is the sire of this horse was a 5X, the dam of this horse was a 5X, and this horse is a 5X. So as far as the breeding goes, it's holding up, you know, horse per horse. This horse here is a 103.75 rating, which is respectable. Let's check out some of the works. Where he did a great job the last time showing all the works, he did a poor job here. And again, I can't say it enough. If you can't show the works, don't expect bids. And quite frankly, if there was not a 6 furlong or a 1.125 work on all these horses, you know, it makes it really hard to judge where this needs to be. It's almost like, I don't want to say we're hiding something, but you would have to assume that the sellers want you to see the information, right? Well, I can't see anything here, okay? I can't see nothing from these works here. So you really are bidding blind, and you have to go strictly by the fact that it's a 5X. It's a 5X 103 rated. It comes from a sire that has a 5X that does have lightly raced 10 races, 1 win, 5 seconds. Okay. It does have 15 foals. Okay. Has 15 races from the foals, 3 wins. Total money is $51,000. Its average earnings per offspring, not that great, 3,400, but it's not that many races to go off of either, only 15. But again, it comes down to the works, because you know, if you're going to bid on these horses, these unraced horses anyway, I mean, you don't really have much to go off of, right? You have to go by the sire, the mare, right? You're going by its conformation and its horse rating, but the works tell you the potential. It's key. So, is this horse worth $27,500? Yes, possibly. But I really don't make this horse any different than Black Ace's horse right above it. Why? Because Black Ace's horse is showing you the works, and it's showing you that its racing potential may be limited. This horse here may be limited, but you have no idea because you can't see the works. And that to me, you know, you really are taking a chance on Holy Cowboy because you don't know all the information. Whereas if you spent the money on this one from Black Ace, you know what you're getting for the money. So, and I don't mean that in any bad way with Cowboy. It's just that, again, we need to do a better job of giving the correct information out, you know, for these horses. You know, full transparency on when we're going for bids. All right, so it's a quick update here. So we went through all these already. We got 29 minutes left till the auction. You know, these horses start getting auctioned off one by one. Let's go to page 2 here. The next one up is Sky Bolt, again by Cowboy Way. It's a 2-year-old out of Colts Road. Same sire as last time. Mare is Sonic Thunderbolt. It is a racehorse. It has 3 races, 2 wins and a third. So you already know that this horse is going to be competitive. I don't know what level yet. We'll have to check those races out. This horse is a 2-time X. You know, has very good conformation. A stakes winner in just her second out. Still has all conditions. Average 20K per start. So here are some decent notes to background for this horse. And let's dive into this horse a little bit here. Sky Bolt is a 103.25, which is respectable. Again, it's out of a stakes winning sire. Has 2 races under its belt. It's proven to that point. It's when we talk about, you know, again, I hate to be talking like this about Cowboy because, you know, I think Cowboy is good for the game and everything, but you have to be careful, especially if you're new and you're bidding on some of this stuff, okay? Because you can see in the notes here, it says stakes winner in just her second out. Still has all conditions, average 20K. Now, but really, the stakes race that he's talking about is a New York Stakes SBO. It is a stakes race. It's not a graded stakes, and it's a state-bred restricted race. So when you talk about stakes racing, they kind of go in, you know, certain class order. Whereas, you know, a state stakes race like this one is restricted to that state for those bred horses. It's lower than, let's say, an open stakes race, which would be a stakes race that any horse can go into as far as class. And that's lower than graded stakes. And then you have your G3, which is lower than G2, and G2 is lower than grade 1. So when we're talking about stakes races, this is the lowest class of stakes racing that you can possibly talk about. And we're talking about a 4-horse field. So this is being pumped up a little bit as far as what they think the ability is of the horse. And so I would just be mindful of that. But the horse does have a lot going for it, okay? It has very good works, so it shows that it has potential, okay? From a 6-7 furlong to a classic type, it can definitely compete. It from the potential, the works show the potential, but if you look at its race form, it shows that it compete. Regardless of what I say about stakes and his notes, you know, it ran in the maiden claim in 40,000 on a 9-horse field, and it won that group. It ran a state-bred stakes race, a state-bred only restricted race. It won the race rather easily, okay? It did run next time out in a New York Stakes bred again, but this is an allowance one, which means a little bit harder than the maiden, and it finished 3rd, okay? Now, you know, so it has ability, but I would say I would say 150,000 on a minimum bid was high for the horse. And I think the notes, if it's someone who doesn't know a lot about the race and may take that the wrong way, 150,000, I probably would put this horse somewhere around, based on its sire and everything, that maybe, you know, 75,000 or so, and let the horse prove it. But it is unlike these other horses. It has raced and has shown that it can race. So he has that going for it. But to make up the 150,000, it's going to have a much stronger career than just basic conditional allowance races. It's going to need, since it has 2 wins, it's already past maiden. It's already past the allowance. It can't run non-winners of 2. It has to run non-winners of 3 or up. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to grab and return that 150,000. Nice horse though. But that's just my honest assessment. Let's see. Next up is... Let's see. Next up would be unnamed 107-837, owned by Northland. It's a 2-year-old colt at a Instilled Yahweh, Kentucky bred at a Malathop. This is an unraced horse. It's currently in for the minimum bid of 6,000. Let's see if 6,000 is worth it there. So we have a, you know, conformations again are very good, solid mix with excellence and very good. Its colt was Instilled Yahweh. Okay, I mean its sire was Instilled Yahweh. The horse rating is 104, which is very nice. Let's check out some of these work times. The work times are actually pretty respectable. Guys, listen, just at a first glance here with this horse from Northland, this is an added money horse here. This is an added money potential horse here from the sprint type that is currently in for $6. $6. Okay, so when we talk about value on the board, look, Sky Bolt, Cowboy Way, That's a great little horse. It's a fun little horse. It's got good numbers. It's this summer, but that's a steep price that they're gonna have to race their little behind off to get that 150 back. You got one here that is unraced that has added money potential. When I say added money, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about stakes money. You don't need stakes money. I'm talking added money maidens or bonus money maidens, state bred bonus money maidens, allowance races, non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3. I mean, so when we talk about, and that's not even talking anything in claiming wise, it's for 6,000. Okay, it has good confirmation. It's 104 rated. Okay, it's got a very nice rating. 104 is very, very nice. It's a very nice, and that tells you a lot more about racing than it does breeding. Okay, its works are also very solid. These numbers aren't blowing you away. Okay, not by any means, but they're not overly too quick. We're not 21, 75, 44, 22, 108, 88, which is really limited. This horse actually has some ability in those longer sprints to classic types for those mid-range races, and that's before you even get to mid-range claiming. So this is easy money for 6,000, and it would be a shame if it was left that way, but it would be a bargain for somebody. All right, next one up is unnamed 107-875 by Northland. Not by Northland, it's owned by Northland. It's out of Endorse, Kentucky. It's a 2-year-old colt. Again, unraced. Minimum bid is 6,000. Current bid is 6,500. This horse here again has very good confirmations. And if we take a look at this horse here, 103.25, respectable for sure. Again, very good work times here. This horse is tons of value here for $6. This horse, I would say, easily $30 range for this horse. I'm thinking, easy $100 in earnings. But it's before geld, claim, everything else. Not necessarily maybe a breeding, the breeding type, but this horse here has potential. Seeing it has very good works, a solid horse rating. It's still not cut yet. At 6,000 is a joke. But hey, if you can get it for 6,000, 6,500, by all means, please do. All right, because you're going to make 10 times that back. Northland has another one here, unnamed 107-917 out of Flapjack. Okay, actually, let's look at the sire of the previous horse, Endorsed. It's 7. Okay, so it's a light. This sire doesn't really have much to go off of. Okay, let's see. I gotta get back to the page here. Not bad. Page 2. Where were we at? Okay, so we're back to this 107-917 out of Flapjack. This horse here is a 4X. Let's see. X. Let's go into some details here. 104.75 rating out of a nice mare as well. Again, nice little middle added money runner. I don't think it's anything. It can definitely win some lower stakes grades like a stakes SBO and open stakes. I'm not sure about graded stakes and those kind of things. That's on a different level. But the horse rating over here, 104.75, suggests that it can, and it's a 4X. So I think it's going to show up, on the track. Again, I don't know what's the total on this one here. This one is the minimum bid was 10,000. It's now at 15.5. It's worth every single penny of the 15.5. And I would say again, 25, 30,000 is probably fair, for this horse with plenty of return on that investment down the line if raced correctly. You still have the geld option as well, and it's a 4X, has some breeding potential, if you mix it the right way with certain mares. Okay. Unnamed 107-923 is up next. Again, that's another Northland, another horse owned by Northland. The minimum bid was 15,000. The current bid is 16,500. Oh, I see what I'm doing. So let's see. Let me, had some background noise running. I think that was messing these guys up. My bad. My bad. Someone in the chat said all they hear is hooves running. That means I had the horses running in the background. But I just turned that off, so hopefully that makes a difference. They'll let me know, I guess. Anyway, this was another one here out of Northland. Flightline is the sire. It is a, has a decent conformation. No excellence, but a bunch of very goods. Minimum bid is already up to $16,500. It's a 101 rated horse, which is fair. 104. I actually like this horse mainly because I like its 6 furlong work here. It's not going to be your sprint type. It's not going to blow away. It's not going to win you any 5 furlong races, but it's going to put you into a lot of like mid-range. It'll put you into 7 furlong, 8, 9, 10 furlong races. Meat and potatoes across the board. Might win a maiden allowance, but it's definitely going to be your mid claiming game. 20, 30, 40,000 claimers. The price tag of $16,500 is well worth it, and I would say, 20,000 is probably a fair number for this horse. They didn't say yes or no, so I don't know. Anyway, next up we got I gotta sneeze, hold on. Next up we got a 2-year-old colt, Northland again, unnamed, 107,924. The current bid is $17,000. It's has some decent conformations. 104.25 again over here in the horse rating is very good. Out of officiating, and has respectable work times. Again, this is a lightly added horse. We'll run for some bonus races, some low added money races before going into the mid-range claim game. So there's a lot of potential here for this horse to earn, let's say, 100 to 175,000 in game credits, and possibly more if gelded. So when you look at the current bid of $17,000, I believe that is more than fair and probably is in the $30,000 range where I would probably put this horse. Mainly because the horse rating is a 104, which is a solid racehorse. Conformations are okay, but its work times are telling you they're not bad work times. There's 108.50s with the 22.2s. I mean, they're workhorses. They're going to be in that, they're not, like I said, they're not going to win 4 furlong, 5 furlong. But the, it should win its fair share of races. Or at least be in the hunt. Let's see here. Next up. Oh, come on. Page am I on? I don't know where I left off here. That must be page 1. My bad. This thing acts up and I gotta get back to the right page. I'm getting Northland had all these horses up here. I think this is the next one here. Unnamed 107,925, again owned by Northland out of Bourbonic. Current bid is $31,000, so it's been put in a minimum bid of $10,000, and it's up to $31,000 already. This is a 4X. That's the reason why that they're all over it, because right away the confirmation is better. It's out of a nice sire, nice mare, well built to so far. Horse rating is a 105.25. So yeah, already without looking at anything, I think $30,000 clearly is a fair price. You could probably even say, without looking at anything else, maybe even $50,000, for for this horse. Again, it has these, decent work times. And I have a thing for, like, these horses here that are running, 22, 27, 45, 14, 108, 68, or 22, 19, 45s. I like those horses because, they have a little bit more ability than just the straight sprinters. You know what I mean? You have, when I say ability, I mean, like, you have more options open to you as far as the races go. I mean, a lot of these races, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 furlongs, this horse is going to fit in that range. Now, how it runs in there, your instructions, or what you want this horse to do, that's a different story. But it clearly has the ability to run in those races. It's well built from a horse rating standpoint. It has well built from a sire and mare standpoint. It's a 2-year-old colt, still has gelding options, and I would say $31,000 is cheap. Bond of Goodness, Bobby Dazzler, 2-year-old filly out of Life is Good. Nice little sire there. Has 2 races under its belt. It's got a win and a second, so it's already shown that it can do something on the track. And I like these kind of horses in our auction because on the unraced horses, it's hard to tell. You can go by its works, you can look at its horse rating, you can look at its confirmations. Well, when you get them to the track, it's a different story. So let's just check out a little bit more about the horse, Bond of Goodness. It is, it's okay built as far as confirmation goes. It's not the greatest. It's a 103.75 rated horse, so it does have a nice horse rating, which is what you want to look for. It's got, like I said, it's got 2 races under its belt. It did win its maiden 25,000, fairly easily. Had a 4-length lead on this. Went to an optional claiming 10,000, which is an interesting drop. And took the weight as well. So he even offered it to claim and for 10,000. Again, down here, this is the issue. There's no works to go off of. There's nothing really to go off of, to figure out this horse. And I think that's an important. So hopefully in the future auctions, we see a better latest workout display to cover more distances so the bidders can make a fair assessment. All I know is this horse showed the ability to win, but it was a 3-horse field, so it was very light field. It was a 1.5 mile, race, long race. It did have a huge lead, won easily, so give it some credit. It wasn't optional claiming 10,000. Again, a 4-horse field, small field. It did lose that, and then today it's in the auction at a minimum of 12, and it has a current bid of 12. So all that is fair. Okay, we don't really know the true potential of the horse, but it seems to be in fair range. Go Gamine, Bobby Dazzler, 2-year-old colt out of Knicks Go and Gamine. I love the combination here. Again, this horse here is also a race that has 2 races with a win and over 30,000 in earnings. Its minimum bid for this horse is 120,000. Let's see where we think that that value is fair. First of all, it has pretty good confirmation. Not the greatest. I've seen a lot worse as well. You can see the notes here for 6 furlong or 22. 32, 45, 16, 108, 53. So I do appreciate the owner putting those notes in if they're not shown in the works itself. So this is going to be an interesting. So if this is its best work here, you're saying that look, it's not going to be the fastest horse out of the gate, especially in sprint races. And you're looking at more of a classic range, more of a 7 furlong, 8 furlong, 9 furlong horse here. Let's see what the horse rating comes in at. Horse rating is very high. It's a 108. So clearly has some ability. It won its mile. It was a 5-horse field, a 1 3/8 on turf. The maiden special weight. Ran at 112.99 on a race rating of 112.25. It's a strong race. And even though this is a state bred only race for Kentucky breds, it's a short field. But these were good horses in here. Okay, this overall race rating of 112 was pretty strong, comparatively speaking. It didn't really work that well in the eliminator, but that's more of a mile. You can see is in the distance. This horse basically is a completely different horse with distance. Now, let's look at the works here. I'm a fan of 6 furlong works because I can tell a lot about the splits. I'm not blown away by what I see from the works here, but I do like a lot about the horse. I love the horse rating of 108. It's very high. I love the sire. I love the mare. I love the fact that it's already shown that it can win. Where the ceiling is, we don't know on this one, and we're a little bit limited on its works, even though he did share the 6 furlong with us. I think 120 might be a little steep, but I think 75 to 80,000 probably fair. With the horse, I think you can get the return on that. Could be wrong also, but nice horse nonetheless. Royal Point, owned by Bobby Dazzler out of Royal Aradal. 2-year-old colt. This one is raced as well. 5 races, has 1 win, 3/3, 71,000 in earnings, over 71,000. Minimum bid on this is 30,000. That bid has been met, so this horse will be sold today. Anyway, nicely built horse here. It's a 4X horse. Okay, 6 furlong notes down here: 22.42, 45.31, 108.75. Very similar to the previous horse. These horses tend to be more of the classic to stayer type horses. They're not that fast out of the gate. 22.42, and they have some ability. So you're looking at 30,000 just on the surface. What I see here is definitely fair value. 102.25 rated, so it has the ratings decent. Ran the Eliminator 1 mile, finished first, didn't finish third. And its last race, it did run in a 7-horse, 1.25 mile G2 and finished third. So it's going to compete, and earn 30,000 by finishing third in that last race. So think about that. It's being sold today or auctioned off for at least 30,000 today. It won 30,000 in its last race alone. That's easy money. I think that's a good buy for 30,000. I think I think it's right where it needs to be. 30, 40,000 would be fair. Let's see. 30. People are gonna be mad at me for putting prices on their horses, but I'm trying to be realistic here. Seven minutes, by the way, till the first horse gets auctioned off. Next out, we got Hand of Zeus and More Racing Stables, 3-year-old colt out of Galileo. Minimum bid was in for 25,000. That bid has been met and surpassed. It's now at 29.5. It's got 4 races. 1/3 has won just over 3,000. It is a 5X colt that is 3 years old. It already has 4 races. It only needs 6 more races left and a few months away, and it can hit the breeding shed. So I would say 25,000 is light just on that alone. Hand of Zeus, already, I'm going to tell you, 102.75 is a horse that needs some bids. 22.12, it's got racing ability still. Has 1 race here this year. Finished third in an allowance, 15,000. I would easily run this horse in its own home track for state bred bonuses. Run it out till it's 10 races, and then hit the breeding shed if it's not if it's not what you like. Hand of Zeus, 5X for 25,000 is very, very light. This horse actually has works and has a horse rating, and it's a 5X compared to some of the other ones that had none of that were just 5X. So this is worth a shot here. I would say I'd pay up to 50 for sure for it. I might even pay more considering the fact that it's closer than all the other ones to hitting the breeding shed, and that's really what those confirmations are all about. So whether you think you have a lot of them out there or not, that's not the point. I mean, you may be, there's plenty of people here right now that have no sires and no mares. These are the type of horses that you want. Let's see. Next one is Winemaker and More Racing Stable. Another 3-year-old colt out of Rombauer. It's a raced horse. It has 2 seconds out of 5 runs, 34,000 in earnings already. It had a minimum bid of 25,000, and that is met. So these last 2 horses will be going off the board today to their new owners. Winemaker is another 5X colt, and it is a 105.75 horse here. whew, maybe he didn't get the runs he wanted maybe out of what these type of races. I can see these pace numbers here aren't all that great, but these work times are decent. Work times are decent. The horse is well built beyond confirmation. A horse rating of 105.75. This is again, it's another horse that I would snatch up. Now maybe if you're, one of these one of these veteran players that have been here for a long period of time, maybe not so much because maybe you have similar horses or whatever it may be, right? Again, back to the 5X. 5X. This horse is a 105.75 rated horse. It's already shown that it can race on the track. It's earned $34,000 already in unimpressive, fashion. Has decent work. So this is a steal all day long, especially for newer stables or stables that have been here maybe less than 6 months or whatever it may be. $25 for this horse is a clear steal. Miss Maker. 3 minutes, guys, till the first horse gets auctioned off. Miss Maker is FGC Stables, 3-year-old filly, has one race. It did not hit the wall. It might have finished fourth. Has 400 in earnings. Minimum bid is 1,000. Current bid is 3,000. This horse looks like it'll be going today. This is a 4X going for $3. Yeah, I sure hope that's not a thing to come because that's cheap. It's going to be this 99.50 rating here that's doing it. Its pace rating here in the first race at 94, and nothing here to back it up with work. So, I fully understand the price tag on this one. But does have some potential down the line here as a future mare, and that alone is well worth more than $3,000 because those mares got 15 breeds, 15 times. I would say as a mare alone, it probably has value of $60,000. You know what I mean? As far as what it's worth in breeding. And it's hard to see that down the line, but you could see $4 a breed to this mare, and anything is possible. Kingdom Maker is the sire. I believe that's owned by Induna. And the sire has very nice stats. So, yeah. Again, why do I do that? That horse is clearly worth $3. That's a cheap one. Fun notes. There's a lot of bids on these horses here. Just want to check the first page again and see where we're at here. Page 1, we got 1 minute till this horse goes off. His current bid is $15,000. So this horse, in 26 seconds, this horse is up out of here. Money Boy by Bobby Dazzler. $7 seconds. $15 to the highest bidder. Refresh my page. That horse is gone. Money Boy. Getting flirty is 1:23 left. So Money Boy went to Chernobyl Lodge, I believe. It's a good pickup by Chernobyl Lodge for $15. Getting Flirty PA is up next. Its current bid is $0. 20,000. Come on, guys. There's 20,000 is $20 is not much to ask here for a horse that has some decent potential for allowance running and some added money. With 46 seconds. It is a 104.25 rated horse. It's a solid rated horse. Has decent times. Going to be more on the sprint side, but you can clearly squeeze a return of that 20 out of it. unless you want to take your own chance at the sales ring or breeding or whatever it may be. But at least you know what you got here for 20 bucks. And, you know, it's easy money for someone. $40, $50, $60, $75 in racing returns. Doesn't look like it has a bidder, so it'll be coming back to the barn to Bobby Dazzler. No bids, getting flirty. Out of here. Rough London is up next. Got 2 minutes for the breed. It's a little bit of a bid war here. Bidding now is up to $50, just over $50, $50,500 for this 2-year-old colt. 1 minute and 40 seconds. I'm a minute behind, he says. I'm a minute behind. How the hell am I a minute behind? It says 129. Oh, maybe a delay from the feed. Anyhow, I'm saying 122 on Rough London. You may have a lot less than time than that, apparently. That's what I'm being told. So get in there now. Put your final bid on. It's $50. Rough London, 2-year-old colt owned by Bobby Dazzler at a London Eye. On deck is Should Have Cheated. Nice 2-year-old filly from Star of the Desert. Be careful with that one, actually. Back. 30 seconds or less. I don't know where you're at, but it's 60,000 now. 60,000. Rough London is the current high bid. 60,000. It's now 65.5. This horse has some bidding, back and forth bidding by somebody. Rough London, 65.5. 65.5. Do I hear 75? Do I hear 75? I can't talk that fast. I do have 75. It is now 75.5. Bid has been extended 30 seconds. Rough London, Bobby Dazzler, 2-year-old colt at a London Eye. Has 1 race under its belt. Has a 2nd place. Again, we broke this horse down. It is a 4X solid work horse with some potential, and it is uncut. Rough London, 19 seconds. High bid is 75.5. Rough London, Bobby Dazzler. Rough London has been sold to the high bid. I'm not sure, but I believe the new owner is Creekside Stables. Congratulations to the new owner. Next horse out is Should Have Cheated, Star of the Desert. Oh, I thought we already did this one. Oh, wait, that's still the same one. Or is it not? I'm confusing myself here. I apologize. Oh, okay, I guess it's the same one. Should Have Cheated. Oh, 12 seconds. This thing's still going. Should have cheated. Let's see where it's at now. A little bit of a bidding war going on. Should have cheated has, looks like it has been sold finally. I believe it was indeed Creekside Stables. 49 seconds for the unnamed horse out of Tri-City Stables. This 2-year-old gelding is in for a minimum bid of $5,000, probably worth the $5,000. Easy return there. Throw it into some maiden claimers, whatever. But then again, you can probably make your own for $7. So, you know, it's your call. Waiting on Sky Star, 224. Current bid is $26.5 from Cowboy Way at a Colts Road. Alright, looks like that one's off the board. Let's get in the Sky Star. Minute 45 seconds for Sky Star. High bid right now is $26.5 for this. Like I said, ignore the notes on this one. Does have potential as a 5X alone and has some ability. Sky Star has a nice rating of 101.75. The works are, are decent for this horse. I see some return here available for Sky Star. The 5X alone worth every single penny of the $26,500 price on it. Sky Star, still $26.5, 30 seconds or so. And I am on a slight delay. So you probably have about 20 seconds left to get a bid on a Sky Star, currently at $26.5. Treasure Trove is up next. Got 2 minutes for that one. Minimum bid right now is $25,000. And more Racing Stables, 2-year-old filly at a quality as gold. Nice 5X filly about to be stolen off the board for $25,000. Remarkable. You can tell these are all homebred 5Xs though. It's not a forever thing. Ugh. Sky Star has a new bid. Current bid is $30,500. Guys, make sure you're refreshing your pages. There is like a, it does reset for 30 seconds, but the page, doesn't automatically refresh, in seconds. So if you're in a bidding war, just refresh your page. If you refresh your page, you should get, up-to-date numbers frequently. Sky's board went to the highest bid there. It's off the board. might be Foggy Dam Farms. I'm not sure. Next up is Treasure Trove. You got 16 seconds. The high bid is 2,500. Again, another 5X filly, which is kind of amazing for 25,000. We are stealing horses here at this point. The breeding alone is worth probably 70, 80,000 as far as breeding rights go. That was a steal to whoever got that horse, so congratulations. Next up is the unnamed horse by Anduna. Got a minute 42. Current bid is 30,000. Minute 11 for the unnamed 107-898 out of owned by Anduna out of Chasing Chaos. Again, this horse is a 5X. Another 5X going for 30,000. The 5Xs are going cheap. A 104 rated horse with solid work times. This one actually, we're not just talking about breeding ability. It has track ability potential right there on paper. 30,000 is child's play for this horse owned by Anduna out of Chasing Chaos. 30,000, 30 seconds left. If you don't have 5Xs, these are the ones you want. Don't be scared. Next up, it will be the unnamed 107-870 by Black Ace. Current bid is 15.5. Again, another 5X for 15 bucks. Unraced at a Thunder Supersonic. It's going to be, I think this one was the one that's more of a breeder down the line. Not a whole lot of racing potential, but should be able to hit the shed. So, you have to factor all that in. Minute 49. Its current bid is 25. You might be sitting on this horse for a little bit. I believe this is the one that has the 99.5. Yeah, so it's from a racing standpoint, it's going to be very challenging unless you're giving it up cheap or you're going to geld it and you're not worried about the 5X. Other than that, you're camping out on this horse for its future breeding ability. And as it currently stands, worth every penny of the 20,500. We just have to make sure that we know the difference between the two or the combination. You got ones that are better set up for breeding in the future, ones that are better set up for racing now, no breeding future, and then you have ones that not only show or have the potential to race now, but breed down the line, and those are your higher valued horses, generally speaking. 45 seconds for the 2-year-old colt at a Supersonic. Bid now is 24.5. New stable stall SRAB is the proud winner of the previous horse that was owned by Anduna. Congratulations, stall. Our new Swedish player. And Black Ace's horse now is up to 25,000. 25.5 now. Again, this is huge. This horse here has a future in the shed. Not so much the track, unless you plan on gelding this horse. Bid now is 29.5 for Black Ace's 2-year-old colt at a Thunder Supersonic. 29.5, still highest bid. Looks like it might be going off now. $29.5. 2-year-old Colt Thunder Supersonic is off the board. Congratulations to its new owner and the seller, Black Ace Stables, a reputable breeder at Digital Downs. Holy Cowboy is up next, 42 seconds. Cowboy Way out of Monkey Slough. Current bid is $27.5. This horse is a 5X out of a 5X sire, out of a 5X mare, 26 seconds. This is again, another steal for $27.5. 103 rated horse, which is decent, but there's no work times to support the bidding, which is unfortunate. Because any type of ability there at all to show potential, the value increases drastically. So that horse is off the board for $27.5. That is probably the cheapest 5X I've ever seen going. But it is what it is. Next up is Sky Bolt. This one here already has a minimum bid met of $150,000 for this 2-year-old filly out of Colts Road that has some races under its belt. Again, this is the one here that does have some conditions taken out of it, despite what the notes say. It has a stakes win, yes, but it's a state bred only stakes race, which is the lowest kind. It has some work to do. It's decently built. Has a decent horse rating. Gonna have to put a lot of work in to get this 150 back on this horse. I think that 150 is probably you're looking at what, maybe you have to get to 300, 400,000 in earnings for this horse. Let's see here. Looks like Sky's Bolt. I don't think we'll have any more bids on this one. 150,000 goes off in 37 seconds. Next up is the unnamed 107837 by Northland, or owned by Northland. And these were all fair, cheap prices that Northland was offering here. Completely below value. Be surprised if they stay at $6. Again, Sky Bolt, 10 seconds. This Northland horse, 6,000. Current bid is 6,000 for this horse here. This is decent confirmation. 104 rated horse, decent works. Is going to win this money back easily. 6,000 is very, very cheap for this horse. Oh, my bad. Sky Bolt did receive another bid. It's up to 200,000. Time has been extended. Sky Bolt bid now is 200,500. 27 seconds left here on the rebid, so the bid has been extended. Sky Bolt, owned by Cowboy Way, 2-year-old filly out of Colts Road, proven sire, Sonic Thunderbolt, is a decent mare, almost $1 million in earnings in her own right. Nice average earnings, per race on this horse as well. So showing some decent foals and decent ability. Sky Bolt. Current bid now $216,500 for Sky Bolt, 2-year-old filly out of Colts Road. 9 seconds left on Northland's horse at $6. The other Northland horse that was at $6 is now at 10.5. That goes off in 2 minutes. Again, easy value there on the unnamed 107.8775 owned by Northland. We're back on Sky Bolt though. Let's see if it went off the board. Sky Bolt has been sold to the highest bidder. The first one from Northland went off at, I believe, 6,000. I'm not sure. I know the second one here is up to 10.5. The value play here for 10.5. These are the fun ones. These ones allow you to play the game, play the card, have some entries, get some wins, stat patterns. Nothing to break the bank with, but nothing really to worry about for the current price now. It's easy return on 10.5. Kentucky bred. That have endorsed. Fair play here. 44 seconds, 10.5 high bid for Northland's unnamed 107.875. Sky Bolt, new owner, is, I believe it is Stall SRS 8B. Was in a nice little bidding war. Congratulations to Cowboy Way for a high horse bid of the day so far. 17 seconds. Let's see this change. We have Northland's horse going off here in about 5 seconds for 10,500. Is easy money for somebody. 2 minutes to Northland's unnamed 107.917 out of Flapjack. Current bid is 30,000. All right, I think that last one is off the board here. Let's just refresh. Yep, it's off the board. Next up, Northland's other one here. Current bid is 30,000. Was put in for a 10,000 reserve at a Flapjack. It will be sold today to the highest bidder, which is currently 30,000. Up next is Northland's other entry, unnamed 107.923, with a current bid of 21.5. 2-year-old filly at a Flightline. 47 seconds left on unnamed 107.917. Current bid 30,000. No notes on these horses. What you see is what you get. Hopefully you understand how to read the background information on these horses. Looks like unnamed 107.917 is off the board, and with its new owner, congratulations. Minute 51 to unnamed 107.923. Current bid is 25,500 for this 2-year-old filly out of Flightline. This one here has, like I said, decent confirmations. 101.50 on its horse rating, has good enough works to get every single dollar back out of that 25.5. I think this horse has a value of maybe 35,000 and change. So at this rate, this is a good value buy for somebody. 119 on the clock. New bid here, 26.5. You got 49 seconds on this horse. Next one, 2 minutes 46 seconds out, is unnamed 107924 from Northlands, 2-year-old colt out of officiating. Current bid is 3,500. Again, that's on deck. Currently, though, we're working with unnamed 107923, 2-year-old filly out of Flightline. Current bid is 28.5. 20 seconds. The hell? $107,923, about 10 seconds, 30,000 high bid for the 2-year-old filly at a Flightline. $50 seconds on this 2-year-old colt out of officiating, owned by Northland. High bid right now is 32.5. On deck is unnamed 107925, again by Northland at a Bourbonic. Current bid is 35.5. But right now we're on unnamed 107924, 2-year-old colt out of officiating. Strong confirmations. Nice horse rating. Decent works. Easy return, in my opinion. 3-4 races or so, you're in the green. $35.5. $37.5 now. A little bit of action on little last second action there on this 2-year-old colt out of officiating. High bid now is $37.5, about 20 seconds. Three, two, one, and she gone. Currently on the board, 50 seconds. 2-year-old colt at a Bourbonic. High bid is $35.5 for this horse here. This is, again, a 4X horse, well built for breeding. This unnamed colt from Northland has got a very nice horse rating of 105.5. Has decent work times that you can work with. Can be in the mix in many mid-grade racing and steal a couple bonus money races. Tons of value here on this horse. 35.5 is kind of fair. It's kind of where it needs to be. I was thinking 35, 40. You should be able to double up on that, and is a good buy as is. The 4X alone does give it its breeding value down the line. It is not cut. So, it's worth every penny at this point. It's up to 37.5. Wouldn't be surprised if it ends up in the 45, range. 54 seconds. Currently 45. Current bid now 43.5 for the 2-year-old colt out of Bourbonic. Unnamed horse from Northland. Northland is the breeder, and I'm not sure if this is his last entry or not. But again, decent confirmations, very good horse rating. You know, decent work times. I mean, nothing to blow you away, but plenty to work on, or plenty to race with in the mid card, the mid racing card. Lots of options. Could still always be gelded down the road if you felt it was necessary. 7 seconds. Going, and gone. 22 seconds left on the next one out. Bobby Dazzler's Bond of Goodness. Didn't really have time to work on this one here. You know, okay confirmations. You know, horse rating 1 to 375 is solid. Does have 2 races. You know, a win in the second. This is the one here. I was talking about the work times. It's hard to see, but basically it looks like a stayer. Not sure of his true ability. 12,000 seems cheap. I believe the horse is sold. 1 minute 40 seconds on Go Gamine, Bobby Dazzler's next entry. 2-year-old colt at a Knicks Go. Minimum bid is 120,000. No takers so far on this horse here. You know, decent. You know, confirmations. You know, some good work times. Very good sire and mare. Horse rating is 108, which is very strong. Good first showing in the maiden special weight, 112.99. Has some distance to it. I'd like to see some more here on the works if we could, but pretty much, you know, you got a lot of information to go off of. It's hit the track. It's showing it has ability. It's not a gelding. It has a very high horse rating. You know, decent confirmations, great sire and mare. So there's a lot of positive stuff to speak for. You know, it's tough to say on the 120,000 value or not, just based off the information we have. But I can understand the minimum price by the owner, considering that the owner itself has plenty of options to race this horse and make more than 120,000. So, you know, price tag doesn't seem like it's unfair in any way. Any takers for Go Gamine? 120,000 reserve, not met. Proven horse on the track, has broken maiden in fine style. Three, two, one. Looks like Gamine will be off the board and unsold for Bobby Dazzler. Next up for Bobby Dazzler is World Point. It's a 2-year-old colt at a Royal Aradal. Has 5 races, 1 win, 3/3, 71,000 in earnings already. The current bid is 30,000, which means the minimum reserve has been met. So this horse will be sold today and will have a new owner. Very good confirmations. I believe it's a 4X. Nice horse rating. Hasn't won since its first round eliminator, so we'll have some work to do here in that department. Solid mile times. Again, I wish I could see more from the works, but I can't. But based off of what I see so far, everything, you know, all told, you know, the horse seems to be, you know, priced fairly. You know, 70,000 has already been taken out of the potential return of this horse, but it can only do that by showing results, which it did, which is a big part of the battle. So, fair game there. Next up, Hand of Zeus and more racing stables, 2 minutes and 45 seconds away. The 3-year-old colt out of Galileo does have a minimum bid met on this, and the current is $30,500 for and more racing stables. 30 seconds on Dazzler's Royal Point with the current bid of $30,000. Royal Point, Bobby Dazzler's 2-year-old colt at a Royal Arrowdale. Looks like it'll go off the board here at $30,000 to its new owner. Next up is Hand of Zeus, 1 minute 57 seconds and more racing stables. 3-year-old colt at a Galileo. It's a 5X colt. It's currently going for $30,500. Has a horse rating of 102.75. Has 4 races under its belt. Has only 1 race since October, but it is a 5X. It seems to be more of the sprinter type, and I see these races here aren't really sprinters, so there may be some hidden potential in this horse as a 3-year-old colt, and get some type of return here. In my opinion, to be 3 years old, halfway through the required, racing minimum, $30,500 for this 3-year-old colt, Hand of Zeus, is a steal. I believe you have racing options in the sprint range easily. I would not geld this because it's has strong potential as a sire, and I think that the value at this point should be higher, considering that it's an older horse and has tons of potential and can still hit the shed. And I would put this value above $50 without a doubt. $39 seconds. Current bid is $3,500 for Hand of Zeus. Is undervalued. 5X at a Galileo. The original breeder was that shifty dude. Sold to Enmore Racing Stable and is now in our auction for $30,500. And 13 seconds left. Tons of potential here for this Hand of Zeus horse. If you don't have a 3-year-old, this is kind of one to get. Well, we got a late bid in. Current bid is $35,500 for you looking for 3-year-old runners. If you only have a barn of 2-year-olds, this is a nice pickup for your barn, not only for future breeding, but has all of its conditions wide open for all of these, these 3-year-old maidens, the 3-year-old, even 50,000 claimers, 3-year-old allowance races. You can go state bred Kentucky. You have a lot of options here as far as what you want to do with the horse. Of course, you can still always geld the horse, which wouldn't be recommended at this point, but you still do have that option. And looks like we do have some late bids coming on and coming closer to its true value of $41,500. So hopefully someone's listening to me out there, and that is a good bid. Hand of Zeus. 3-year-old colt out of Galileo is up to $45,500. We are now in, almost, proper territory where this horse should be. Again, we look at Hand of Zeus. We looked at some of its past races. We look at its work times. Okay. These are definitely faster work times. The first 2 furlong, not so much, but that middle 2, 4 furlong of 44.88 is a quick horse. We're looking at 5 furlong races here for this horse. I think you have some potential. We don't have any 5 furlong works here to go off of, but I believe this horse has potential as a sprinter for its first 3 to 4 races in its conditions. Win some money, hit the shed. Easy money here. Hand of Zeus. $45,500, 5 seconds for this 3-year-old colt out of Galileo, owned by Enmore Racing Stable, is off the board to its new owner. Maker, FGC Stables, got a horse in here. It goes off in 2 minutes. 3-year-old filly out of Kingdom Maker. Its minimum bid was $1,000. It's currently at $3,000, and this is definitely one of our lower entries into the auction. And we'll just let this one ride out. Has great confirmations. You know, for this 3-year-old filly, will make a great mare one day. $3,000 is fairly cheap if you just want to camp out on this, but the issue will be getting it to its 10 runs. Maker doesn't have a very high horse rating. It's going to, you know, struggle in a lot of these maiden races. Where it needs to be racing wise is probably in your low end claimers, but if you do that, you're going to lose the horse. So basically, this is a one purpose purchase. I like that, one purpose purchase, and that would be for a future mare on this 5X. I think it has tons of potential, and in that way alone is worth way more than $3,000. But you have to understand you're investing on it and sitting on it, and you're gonna get that money back later on. So it's kind of tough sometimes to recommend people to spend money on something knowing that you're 3-4 months away from utilizing whatever you spend the money on. But a lot of the great stables in this game do invest into their stable long term. And if you're short on mares, this is a mare to get. $3,000, it's $3. You can't even breed them this way for $3. So clearly has value up to the minimum amount of 7,000. If not all the way up to 15. So this is definitely undervalued so far, and I think it's because of the works and the horse rating itself. So 9 seconds for this. This steal off the board. All right, Maker is up out of here for $3. Next one is Fun Notes. Parched Corn Hollow has a 3-year-old colt at a notebook. Has 3 races under its belt with 1 second, 1/3. Okay, it's a 4X, very good, wonderful breeding. He is correct. Notebook, fun start. This is a well-bred horse, very good horse rating, and confirmation, a very good horse rating. This horse here has a ton of potential. Again, has decent works, can definitely compete on most tracks. It did run in a maiden claiming 30,000. It did catch a check in third, ran an optional claiming 30,000, giving up some weight, or took some weight off, didn't hit the board, came back in a maiden special weight and finished second. And I think that's all you need to know. It's a maiden special weight, but it was a cheapie. It was 5-horse field, but it did finish second with one of the top jocks. And I think really that tells you that this horse can be put back into maiden special weight. Ran a 109.97. The class rating was 110.25. The horse has ability to pop and make 20, 30, 40,000 rather quickly. Again, but on top of that, confirmation, horse rating, it's all there. 3 years old. So 20,000 easy as far as the current bid goes. I would say that its next race out, it could easily make that 20,000 back. And go much further than that. So 23 seconds left on the board for a very nice potential horse. Fun Notes. If you're a mid-sized stable, a small stable, a new stable, this is a horse that will let you compete in some of these races, and maybe you'll find out something new that the previous owner did not. So current bid 2 seconds is 20,000. That is a good buy for somebody. Next up is Game Collector. Bobby Dazzler's 3-year-old colt does have a race under its belt, finished second. This is at an Art Collector in Gamine. Again, well built. The minimum bid on this is $35,000. Has a good confirmation, decent 6 furlong work time. This horse is easy money here for $35,000. Is a fair number, or a fair ask. The horse rating is nice at 103.50. Ran a maiden special weight, 5-horse field at Churchill. Ran a 107.97 at a mile. And the race class field, the class of the field wasn't that strong at 107.80, but has some ability here. If you look at some of these works, you can find a home for this horse in the middle of the card. And 35,000 is a fair number. You could say 25 to 35, maybe 40 would be a good range. You have to figure out where you can race condition-wise, but for 35,000, I would say in 3 races, I can come close to knocking that 35,000 out. It's a 3-year-old colt and doesn't have a bid. So 45 seconds, nice little racer here. Decent works, puts you in the meat of the card. You know, can race your allowance races, your maiden races still. You got your high claimers you can go with, your optional claimers, your starter allowances. You know, so there's a lot of racing ability here in between stakes and 5K claimers. These are the kind of horses that you want. But then again, you have to think about, you know, can you breed them on your own? Can you get them in a sales ring? I get all these questions, but here you know you can have one. 35,000. All right, current bid has been met. 35,000 is the minimum bid has been met. This horse will be changing hands today. Game Collector, 3-year-old colt by Bobby Dazzler. Out of Art Collector. "17 seconds, Game Collector. Current bid, 35,000, 8 seconds. Bobby Dazzler's 3-year-old colt." And she or he is gone. So that's a good buy by someone for 30,000. Next up, Bobby Dazzler has another one. The End Game, 3-year-old colt at an Endbringer. I like the sire a lot. The minimum bid is 35,000. This horse does have 2 races under its belt. Has 1 third place for 57.60. Not all that impressive with the pace rating of a 93, turf 94. So confirmations were okay. 6 furlong times is definitely something you could work with. The End Game is a 102.50 rated horse. Still has a geld option. Can't see a lot from the works because they're all lengthy works. He did post in notes what he thinks the 6 furlong is going to be. This one here, even though it's like, you know, comparable to the last horse, you know, I'm a little bit uncertain, you know, for the End Game at 35,000, you know, only because it did actually race and, you know, you weren't necessarily, you know, blown away, you know, by the results, or, you know, you didn't really take away, you know, a good feeling from the results. But there, you have to look at sometimes even things like the condition or the going of the race. So both races, you know, this horse has 2 races. It has decent work times where it can run the meat of the card, but both the races were not on fast surfaces. It wasn't turf firm. It wasn't dirt fast. Both of these were wet off tracks. It was good in yielding. So, you know, it's tough to get you know, you don't know. The horse may not like the off track. You know, so it's a run on yielding. It was wet, you know, and it still finished 3rd, and that explains the low pace number of 95, and then the good on dirt explains the pace rating for 91. So there's explanation there for these low numbers. So I wouldn't let that so much scare you, but it is unfortunate that's the only 2 things that you can see on the horse, and I'm not sure. I think the horse went off the board, but maybe we'll see that back in here next time. But when you're looking at bidding on these horses, you have to look at all these things, you know. And I look at the speed and pace and all that kind of stuff, but you have to look at that stuff. You know, what was the going? Was it yield? Was it this? Because it's really going to make an impact on those numbers, and it's hard to get a true assessment of where that horse should be. Next up is Miss Madonna and More Racing Stables, 4-year-old filly at an Ambassador. This horse is a 4X or a 3X mare, and has it's 3 races, 1 win, 1 second, 1 third. Already has a return in earnings of 32,000. Its current bid is 30,000. The minimum bid was 11,000. So this horse has had some movement. It's already at breeding age, even though it has racing potential. So let's not, you know, concentrate on that. 101 rated horse. The 4-year-old division is wide open, and the horse has, you know, ton of ability here to make some money back and get your full return this season as a 4-year-old. And obviously in the future, it's not that, you know, bad as a you know, from a breeding standpoint. You know, it has a decent conformation. You can mix and match it with some solid sires, and then get some decent offspring. So tons of options available for this horse. You know, mares are you know, seem to be harder to come by. So current bid now is up to 35,000 for Miss Madonna. And More Racing Stables, 4-year-old filly out of Ambassador. You know, confirmations are what they are. The horse rating is what it is. It's shown from a race standpoint. You see the class of races, you know, maiden 30,000, optional claiming 30,000, claiming 30,000. You already know where you need to be. So if you want to buy this horse today for 40,000, you know you can run your maiden claim in 30,000s, your 40,000s, and you're pretty much safe. If it gets claimed, so what? So be it. But in the meantime, you get a chance to get a return on this horse and put it right into your shed. If you're a stable that doesn't have a lot of mares available, this is a decent mare to pick up. You know, up to you. Miss Madonna is off the board. One minute, 19 seconds for Scrumdiddlyumptious. And More Racing Stables, a 4-year-old colt out of Exceed and Excel, has 7 races, 1 win, 2/3, 27, 420 in winnings. Its current bid is 33.5. Let's check it out quickly. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5X colt that's already 4 years old. Okay, already 4 years old. It has a 103.75 rating. It's out of a great mare, Goldakova. You know, race-wise, it still has potential to earn this season as a 4-year-old. It has all the conditions open to it. It can clearly race. It has very nice work times. Huge potential here. This horse is a steal. Okay? This is a steal. This is a 5X horse that is ready to go, not only in the track right now, but also for the future breeding shed. You got 20-something seconds left. This horse is going for 35.5. This is a joke. 35.5. This is you know, an easy buy for somebody. Breeding potential, track potential right now. Scrumdiddlyumptious is you know, a good buy for 35.5. 30 seconds left. Late bid in. Current bid now is 3,600. 5X colt. It's got the horse rating that you're looking for, 103.75. Its pace ratings are not that great, okay, when you consider, you know, all of this in the grand scheme of things. But you're looking at these distances here. This is the number here that you're worried about. You're 91, 95, 94, 96, 96. But this is a future breeder, folks. So put this in the right race. You know what I mean? Put it in the right claiming race, or put it in the right maiden or allowance race right now, and keep it at its track in New York. And get some race bonuses, or, you know, do the best you can with it to get the return you want right now. But it's definitely a future breeder, so it's a good buy for somebody for the breeding shed. 40 seconds left. Current bid is 45.5. $50,000 now. $50,000, 16 seconds. New bid in. New bid in is 50,500, 28 seconds for Scrumdiddlyumptious. This horse is ready for the breeding shed. You can get a few more runs under its belt. Maybe get a little bit more return off of the 50 before hitting the shed, but really you're investing into your future here with creating your own, you know, bloodlines and your own, you know, breeding farm. Scrumdiddlyumptious, this New York bred colt out of Exceed and Excel and Goldakova. 51.5 now. $51.5, 4-year-old colt. Next up is Miss Hee Haw and More Racing Stables, 4-year-old filly out of Whiskey Echo. Current high bid is 140,500. That's a big time bid. Anyway, back on to Scrumdiddlyumptious is 59,000. I'm sorry, 59,000. 28 seconds left for this 4-year-old colt. Five X Colt, 4 years old, got everything you're looking for. These are like, you know, ones that could potentially be $200 horses. You're taking care of all your breeding here in one shot. Or your immediate breeding. If you don't have any sire, it's just a good sire to look for. Investing into the future. Again, you know, as the higher bids come in, it's less like, you know, you're not looking, you know, so much as a full return on the last couple of months of the season racing. It needs to get a few more races under its belt. And at this point, it couldn't be anything cheap. Couldn't be less than 50K claimers. You're looking now at this point where the current pricing is 69,000. You're basically looking at home breeding and shoring up your barn. 8 seconds, 69,000. Scrumdiddlyumptious, 4-year-old colt. Sold. No, not sold. Last minute bid comes in. It's now 73,000 for Scrumdiddlyumptious. Minimum reserve was 25,000. We're now almost 3 times that amount for this 5X colt out of Exceed and Excel. Scrumdiddlyumptious, 4-year-old colt, Exceed and Excel, and more racing stables, breeding barn, hopeful. Look at the horse rating, 103.75, well-built horse, you know, has hit the board 3 times, has some potential left on the track, pulled a 108.26 6-furlong time on push on January 16th. The horse has some ability here. You know, maybe a few tweaks here in store. I don't know exactly what it may be. You know, to get this horse to strike and break and, you know, and get its second win under its belt. But either way, has a bright future in the breeding shed. 10 seconds. Current bid is 75,500 for Scrumdiddlyumptious. Current bid now is 79,000 for Scrumdiddlyumptious. I can't even say its name anymore. Scrumdiddlyumptious. Next up is Crackhead, PA bred, and more racing stables 4-year-old colt out of Airstrike. Actually, I think they already went off. All these other ones are going off because the timer doesn't stop these other ones from going off the board. I just realized that. As this bidding war continues on Scrumdiddlyumptious, these other horses are going off the board. H20 Kentucky bred just went off the board. I believe that was 60,000. Scrumdiddlyumptious is to 85. Minute 44 on X's are the bestest. Kentucky bred is going out for 30. 130,500. Minimum 130,500 for this 4-year-old filly from Enmore Racing Stables of 4X. 11 races, 3 wins, 1 second. You know, has the track ability shown at 104.25. You can race right now and is in these claiming races. Bump this horse up. X's are the bestest. Put it in some bigger races before you retire this horse. Minute 30 seconds for X's are the bestest. Current bid is 150,500. X's are the bestest. 4-furlong filly, Pioneer of the Nile. Showing good form of late, and I do not believe this horse should be in the claiming race. Again, good future mare for someone's shed, but not only that, it has the ability. It's showing it on the track. Can race right now. I believe this horse can probably even challenge in some stakes races. X's are the best. This is coming off, you know, a win at 50,000 optional claimer, win at 40,000 optional claimer. You know, it's running 109.99. Give this horse a shot, you know. Throw it in a grade 3. See what happens. Look at these work times. Beautiful. 134.99. 134, you know. This is good stuff here. Good age change, it seems like. Grade 104.25 Pirate and Isle is a solid sire. Again, 11 races, 3 wins, 1 second, 2/3. It's over 50% in the money for sure. It's already brought in 77,000. Lightly raced 4-year-old filly from Enmore Racing Stable. It's up to 180,000 currently. X's are the bestest. Future Mare Star. You're a minute and 15 away from Living in Hope BD. Bobby Dazzler's 5-year-old at a Square Eddie. X's are the bestest. Is this still going? Let's get an update here. X's are the bestest is sold. Finally. Bidding war ends. Congratulations to the new owner of that fine looking mare and potentially cornerstone of your future breeding shed. 33 seconds for Living in Hope BD. Current bid is 15,000. 15,000. 15,000 for Living in Hope BD. After that, we got Vegas Beach, Bobby Dazzler's 5-year-old. 5 seconds for Living in Hope BD. Current bid 15,000. Vegas Beach is up. Minute and 56 seconds. Current bid is 15,000. Horse is 5-year-old at a Lope de Vega. It's a 2X horse. It's a 101.75 rated horse. Last race February 23rd. Finished 5th in an open allowance. 4th before that in a G3. Has a 3rd in a G2. Does hit the board. Does cash checks. 19,000, 44,000, 11,000 plus some bonus money. 3,000, 7,500. You know, it has its confirmations are, you know, okay. You know, they're okay. But the price is 15,000. It clearly shows you that I can hit the board all over the place. 15,000 is a fair price. Current bid is 15,000. Minute 9 seconds for Vegas Beach, the 5-year-old out of Lope de Vega. Next up, 3 minutes out, is Deliberate Descent and More Racing Stables 5-year-old. Its current bid is 35,000. 35.5. Vegas Beach, 26 seconds. Vegas Beach is off the board. Deliberate Descent, minute 52. Current bid is 35,500. 5-year-old at a grade above and More Racing Stables. This horse is a 5X horse ready to breed or race some more. Earner of 167K and has shown the ability to still be competitive in a season. This horse has 4 wins out of 18 races. It is a 5X. It's a colt ready to basically hit the barn, the breeding shed right now. Can still run a little bit. Last race had a January 30th, finished second in a 50,000 allowance race. Did bring home 12,500. Did bring home 14,000 January 5th. Finished third in open allowance. So it has some racing left in it as a 5-year-old if you pick its spots correctly. And tons of breeding potential. being that it's a 5X ready to go horse right now for $49.5 is a good deal. If you're looking to do some breeding and you don't have any sires, this is the kind of horse that'll help you get there. You can start doing a little home breeding tonight with your own sire. Current bid is $51.5. Next up is Georgia P. and more racing stable. The final horse in the auctions, a 5-year-old mare, currently stands at $15,000 bid. Right now, 36 seconds, deliberate descent. 5-year-old at a grade above. Current bid is $55,000. 24 seconds. Seven seconds. 55,000 deliberate descent. That's a good buy for its new owner. Instant breeding for that horse. Last but not least, Georgia P. 5-year-old mare. It's a 3X, 4 very good mare. Needs 2 races yet to get to its breeding total of 10. 8 races, 2 wins, 1 second, 1/3, 54,000 in return. It's it's been spotty here, since December after it won an allowance race. Hasn't hit the board in the last 2. After age change, does have some good previous past works. You just need to race it in a couple allowance races. Keep this horse out of the claiming, unless you're willing to go a little bit higher in the claims. 20, 30, 40,000 claiming range, just to make sure you don't lose the horse. Then you always have the option to breed with this mare here, shortly. Georgia P. 5-year-old mare. My timer is gone. I'm not sure what that means. If the horse is off the board or not. Anyhow, folks, that was a great little auction. Thanks for watching. Got to cover some horses. Hopefully we'll do it again next time. Best of luck to all the buyers as far with your new stock. If you find anything that you feel is misleading based on the notes, whatever, please, contact the seller and, discuss things. And, one thing I would just like to point out again on the auction, I think the sellers need to do a little bit better job as far as spreading their works out. If they truly intend to be, I'm not saying anybody didn't, want to share anything. I'm just saying this is an observation. It could be an oversight, but the works are really important. And my suggestion would be, again, my suggestion would be to, include as much information as possible on your works for these horses, so that people can, it's really transparent and people can make, quick decisions on it. It could impact. There was a couple horses there I felt could have been a lot higher if the works were properly in place, because it's really hard to get. When you have to start guessing to figure some of the stuff out, and you're getting ready to spend $70-$80, you kind of like, at the end of the day, it's not worth it, right? Because it's you're totally in the blind. So, let's improve on the notes. Let's improve on the works that are on the horses. And overall, though, very good auction. Thanks to all the sellers. Thanks to all the buyers. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this live auction at digitaldowns.us. Get your race on. All right. So until next time, peace.